Alright, hello again. What year were you born in?
1944.
Nice. What do you think the long-lasting effects of the Depression were, or are?
Well, things are a lot better for everybody. There's more work. There's more benefits that they didn't have years ago. And on the other hand, a lot of the shoe shops have closed. A lot of the work in this country has gone out of the country. So unemployment goes up, it goes down, and we need to be mindful of what is being shipped out of the country and the jobs that are being taken away from us.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know any people like your parents or other adults other older people who have habits that you think came from the period of time?
Oh, yes. Yep. Saving everything to put something in, being careful of what you throw away because somebody else could use it.
Do you know any specific habits that they had?
Right. They try to make sure that all of us had more than they did. So Nana would go to all these yard sales every week
Oh, God.
and pick up everything for the family. And even if you didn't need it, she thought you did. So she'd be so worried, and she'd be able to talk the people down from like 50 cents to a quarter, and she'd tell them how hard it was to be on Social Security. Would they take a quarter instead of 50 cents? And then she'd make sure that everybody in the family got what she bought at the yard sales.
Yard sales were Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
All weekend long.
20, 25 miles a day. Just in a little circle.
Alright.
She was a great yard sailor.
Do you have any habits that your parents had that you continue to use?
Well, I think maybe you don't notice your own habits so much as probably your mother would know, seeing as how I brought her up.
You hoarded canned goods.
I did.
You did. We ate shelves.
It was a habit. You know, Nana always bought so many, so when they were on sale, I would buy them. And I still kind of do, but not as bad as I did when all the children were home.
That's because you don't have enormous shelves to fill in like we had in the basement.
Well, I don't have 4 children, you know, eating me out of house and home anymore.
Well, I think Mom actually still has some of those habits herself, because she
Well,
won't buy something unless it's on sale.
well,
Like
it's
2 for
genetics,
6.
you know, it rubs off. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, see, we only had 2, you and Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you,
We ate like 4.
yeah.
Alright,
Nana was a good shopper.
yeah.
Very, very good shopper. She even sharpened a ballpoint pen.
If
You don't catch on, do you?
you said, okay.
She'd even sharpen a ballpoint pen.
Oh. If the Great Depression had never happened, do you think history itself would have been drastically changed?
Oh, yes, I think that it just would have kept moving on like it is today, and everybody would have been able to have more and not be mindful of, do you really need that? They just buy it because they wanted it. And yeah, I think it would be better.
Hold on. Let's get a good one up here.
Let's get a good one up here.
Do you think that life back then was easier or harder?
Well, it was harder because we didn't have all the conveniences that we have today. We didn't have a vacuum cleaner. We didn't have a TV for quite a while. We didn't have a telephone for quite a while because they were too expensive. Everything was expensive, and it was hard to bring a family up. The pay scales were very small. My first job, I mean, I worked at 12 doing housework for 65 cents an hour for a couple in town. Then my first job was in the movie theater behind the candy counter for 80 cents an hour. And I thought that was just wonderful.
used
And
to
then
get
I
a
went
quarter.
to Mammoth Mart and made $1.25 an hour.
I used to get a quarter an hour.
Yeah, I used to babysit 4 children all night from like 4 in the afternoon till 1 in the morning, feed them, bathe them, for $2 for the night.
And I used to work over town, especially
Yeah.
in the summertime, when they oiled the roads. Then they used to put oil on the roads, like tar, and they have to sand it with by shovel
That
to
sounds like
cover it.
a lot of work.
$1 an hour.
Do
There
you
was no tax on it then.
Yeah. Do you think future generations could benefit from things that happened during the Depression?
Oh, sure. I mean, we can all learn, how hard it was. And so fortunate to have electricity and not kerosene lamps, and to be mindful of shutting lights off when you're not in a room, as we had to when we were growing up, to keep the light bill down.
Did the way that he was brought up, do you think that it affected how you were brought up and how you brought your family up?
Oh, most definitely. You learn by your parents, and you also do the same with your children in a lot of ways. The saying, history repeats itself.
Yeah.
You definitely know the difference between need and want.
Yep.
And
Yep.
there wasn't money for want.
No.
So there was money for need, and you had to need it. I
Even,
think we were less wasteful than we are now.
oh, I think so
because
too.
you had to recycle things and reuse them.
And it's like Christmas, everything was very expensive because of the pay scales that we had at that time too. They're so much larger today, but of course everything is so much more expensive.
Yeah.
The economy has
Boosted.
just got out of hand. But it's like when the children wanted something really badly, I would say to them, okay, you have to earn half of this money, and we'll see about the other half. They babysat, they did housework for different people, they mowed lawns, they had paper routes, because I never had to tell them to get a job. They
Just
got a
for
job.
that one.
It was, that's how we grew up.
Do you think that your generation lost anything or benefited from the time period that they were in?
I think they lost a lot of the family unity. Every Sunday we'd be at my grandmother's, Sunday was family day. But everybody's so busy today and so involved in everything, we didn't have, the children involved in all the stuff that they are today. And I think that they've kind of lost being together more. But yet, that's how it is today. Everything is so fast moving compared to what we had.
I think a big difference too is your generation certainly passed on to my generation, which I don't see so much in your generation, is there was no sense of entitlement. Nobody was entitled to anything. You had to work hard. You had to earn your own way.
Yeah.
Nobody was handing you things for nothing.
Right.
You didn't get a trophy for just being on the team. You had to earn it.
Exactly. And I mean, it was the same in the house, everybody lived in the house, everybody had chores to do, everybody had to pitch in and help. And today, the children, the parents are so busy too, with the children involved in sports or whatever, and the children aren't helping at home on their own. I mean, they would just automatically, they knew they had chores to do and they do them. And you're just so busy today with school and outside activities that it's easy to look and, oh, this is already done. And you don't even realize that it's being done for you every day until you have to start doing it more.
Yeah. Do you think generations that keep going, like my generation or generations after my generation, do you think that they're going to be more different? Do you think that they might still have some of the same effects? Or
Well, that's kind of hard to answer in some ways, because I think that this generation of children are so used to their parents taking care of everything, and it's so expensive that they don't have, I don't know what I want to say here, they just,
Don't have enough money.
right. I mean, it's a case of want, not need in
They
a
don't-
lot of the children today.
A lot of them don't have a work ethic at all.
No, they don't. You know, they don't work hard like we had to. And, I mean, we didn't even think anything of it. You know, it was so hard for, like, Nana and Bampa that I'd babysit all summer and everything, you know, every day. And I'd have to buy my own school clothes and, you know, stuff. Because there was no extra money. And it never affected us, because this is just how it was. And I think that we see it more in the generation now, that life has got so busy that a lot of the values before and the work ethic, as you know, your mom said, and everything has changed. The children today are so used to everything being at their fingertips, they don't realize the hard work that goes into it to buy it.
yeah, I think we're good with that.
Good?
Yeah.